Good morning, gang. It's midterm break is over, and we're back at it today. I just corrected all your papers over the week and your participation marks, and I want to give you some feedback on it for hopefully to help you improve for your final, and not only just improve for this course, but for other courses in the future to give you an idea what programs are available to instructors and how they catch things and what they look for. Okay. So first off, we'll start off. Marks range anywhere from 55 to 90, and the class average I think was about 75-ish. Which is not too bad, good and standard. So first off, I'd go to the drop box to pick up your paper. And for those of you who submitted it in Adobe format, I would curse on you for a little while. Then I would take your document, copy the text, and put it into a Word document. From there, from the word introduction all the way upward, I would delete. So your table of contents, appendices, executive summary, I would delete. And everything from your last word of your conclusion downward, so your attachments, appendices, bibliography, I would delete. And that would give me your word count. And if you were on the word count anywhere from 1,800 to 2,200 words, plus or minus 5 or 10 words, I was quite happy with that. If you were not, and a lot of you were, actually 3 or 4 of you were way off the word count, submitting papers of 840 words, 1,300 words. If you take a look at my rubric, if you didn't make the word count, you instantaneously got a 60. So I didn't even look after your paper after that. Just got an instantaneous 60. And that was it. Okay, for the rest of you who did, that was fine. I would undo all the deleting that I did and get your full document back. And I would take your document and put it into a program called Grammarly. Okay, and this program tells me if you plagiarized sections of it, really goes into depth for your grammar, word choice, stuff like that, and gives me a real appreciation of the quality of your paper. Okay. Actually, it gives me a grade of your paper as well, but I don't use that. Okay, that's kind of cheating on my part. Okay, so that's fine, but that really gives me a test for, like I said, plagiarism and stuff like that. So it's easy to find. The program does it instantaneously. In our particular class, plagiarism wasn't a big issue. A few words here and there, nothing too big or fancy. There was one gentleman, though, at his document, 53%, according to Grammarly, 53% was plagiarized. So. But anyway, the way he did it, it wasn't full-on plagiarism. He just documented it improperly, and it came up in plagiarism. So I sent it back to him, told him it was a mistake, showed him where it went wrong, resubmitted it, and he wrote a fine paper. Okay, so be aware that it's easy to catch plagiarism. Please don't do it. Okay, it's a great way to get kicked out of university as well. So then I would bring it back to your Word document and read it as a professor for content. And quite frankly, content was very well done, guys. It was logical for most part. If you were having a 70 or 75, you probably got that mark because of spelling mistakes. Okay, but your content was quite good and delivered well. Okay, use a picture or two. If you're describing something, a lot of you used appendixes and put your figures and diagrams in the bottom, which you're perfectly allowed to do. Okay, but in a paper of this small, you can put your pictures within the document, and you're talking about, I don't know, whatever you're talking about, J-lay cable and and subsea cables. Put it right in the middle of your paper so your reader can follow along. Okay, it's just a tip or trick. You don't have to do that. It's nothing. I didn't take marks off for not doing that. Okay. What else? Table of contents was all done well. Executive summaries were done well. Bibliography, a few of you lost a lot of points for that. So there's a specific format for that. So if you went sorry, I just noticed the vibration and the camera is going a little bit crazy here. We're shaking up. We're going through a high risk area at full speed. So back referencing. So there is a format for that. Some of you put like number 1 references this, number 2 references that. It's not done that way. So we use APA formatting at the university and the Marine Institute, and it should be done alphabetically. The first line should be close to the margin, and the other 2 lines indented. I think there's a format that goes with the author, the time it was published, the title, the date it was found and located, and your website referencing, and so forth and so on. So be aware of that and be more attuned to that. Then, last but not least, spelling mistakes and grammar. Okay, Word document will get you so far, but if you use the program Grammarly, it will bring you to a whole new level. Okay, guys. It'll give you substituting for words, so there's no word repetition and stuff like that. And it's the difference between an A paper and a B paper. Okay, so if you got a 75, more than likely you probably, from a content point of view, you're probably in an A range, but it's the grammar and the spelling mistakes that kills you. Okay, so if I read your first paragraph and there's 2 or 3 spelling mistakes in there, grammar mistakes, that's the difference between an A and a B. Okay, instantaneously. Okay, if you take a look at the rubric, solid, superior writing, no mistakes, that's what an A paper looks like. If you jump down the rubric, spelling mistakes scattered here and there, bam, you've just jumped into the B range instantaneously. So it's a great way to get marks. Make sure you're on it. Okay. What else? Yeah, from the paper point of view, very well done. Also, grading now for the midterm. So you look at your grades, you got maybe 1 out of 10 or 2.5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. So for those of you who've not put in your video presentation, you were graded at a 2.5%. That was worth the participation. Okay, 2.5% for the first half, 2.5 for the second half, which we're going to cover, and then your video is worth 5% for a total of 10% for the term. So if you got 2.5% in your mark range now, that means you have full class participation for the term. And some of you were religiously doing that. Yeah, and you all got 2.5 out of it. If you got 1 or 0, that's because you didn't participate or you missed comments on certain people's papers or missed a week and stuff like that. For those of you who have submitted your videos and you did full participation and maybe got 100 on your video, so you'd have 2.5% for your class participation, making your comments, and maybe 5% if you got 100 for your video. So you could have as much as 7.5% out of the term so far, and the other 2.5 will be your comments for the second half of the term. Okay, just so one person emailed me and said, "Why do I have 1 out of 10?" And it's because it's 1 out of 2.5 because that person has not submitted their video. Okay. Aside from that, if you want individual feedback on your papers, please feel free to contact me. All right, I'm more than willing to help you, show you where you went wrong, and so you can improve. Part of my job here is not just to teach you content; it's to teach you prepare for the rest of your writing career as well. Papers, you're going to have plenty of them. Okay. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed your midterm break. We're back at it now, and take a look at the next section for your what's happening this week. Cheers, guys.